Sub Legends, big video this one here. We're going to be going through a bunch of your questions on the YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a bunch of questions in the Discord group, so I'll show you a little bit around that as well, and then go through a bunch of teams here as well. So big video, lots of questions asked. I hope everything is answered for you and you have all the answers you need to dominate this week and make your trades or even hold potentially. So I have a nice question here from Harrison McDonald. I think it's going to really help a lot of people. G'day, Jamie's man to Talakai sideways. Currently ranked at 217, so really, really good rank. Have used all my trades so far. So I'm thinking just save trades for the next few weeks. And then who would you play between Taff and Penasini since he's back in the centers this week? I think that's a 50-50 one. You know, Taff's playing an okay side. I think you could play him. His goal kicking, he's probably going to be a little bit safer than Penasini, but I'd say Will has a little bit more upside. In terms of the man to Talakai one, look, Talakai might score better this week. Man could also score 60 or 70 as well. So there's a few things to think about there. So they could both score the same. And if you've max traded already, and then you continue to do so over the next few weeks, people like myself, even, you know, potentially, me being 1500th in the rankings, for example, I'm going to catch you during the origin period if you continue to max trade. Or if I don't catch you then, I'll catch you in the last few rounds. So it's really, smart to potentially hold some trades over the next few weeks, and doing a man to Talakai is fairly sideways for sure. So that's that one there, but good question for that one. Joshua, hey bro, love the content. How do we send out teams for you to analyze? So if you jump into the Discord group, if you go into the team picks here and send that team through, that will be sweet. So I'll get to majority of them. There was about 100 this week, so I've only got 50 there to analyze at the moment. So you can try your best to get that one in there, or eventually just ask questions in here is going to be great. I've asked people to pop in some questions for me in here as well, which I'll go through also, and a few of them have put their teams in. So that's the best way to do it. But yeah, join the Discord for that. Hey mate, do I get Cleary in this week for Man and Josh King, or do I hold till next week? I think you may as well do it, man. If you're thinking about, Josh King's probably a sell. Man, you can hold, but they're not like someone you clearly need to hold for the long term. So if you want to, you can trade up and down to get them, but just be aware that none of the cash cows are going to do any well, I don't think. Taft's going to be decent, but he's also 355k. Mr. Stark, hey Jamie, which one should I do? Burton and Crichton to Cleary and Edric Lee, and the other one's Cleary and Rushton. So again, just don't be be aware that these guys might not make much cash, and they could be sitting on the bench at 220, 260, 270k, and you don't know what to do with them. And if you already have one cheap guy like a Vialea, Schiller, sitting on your emergencies, you're adding another one of those cheap guys that might not do so well. So just be aware of that. If you're already sitting there with Kula, David Moale, these kind of guys, just be aware that you'll have a bunch of guys not making money on the pine there. But obviously Cleary is pretty important. Personally, if you're going to do that one, I'd say to go the second option. I'd be holding Burton personally. All right, 28 trades remaining, full 45 in the bank. Is Nanai to Cleary okay? Yeah, just go straight. Kobe or Critter to Blake Taff. Yeah, I'd probably keep Kobe. Just he's a bit cheaper. Probably has a little bit more money to make. Critter's held steady, and that'll be it. I'd go for the Critter to Blake Taff for that one. That's decent. Doing Nanai to Moale, Pangai to Cleary. Whew. I'm sure you brought him in the last few weeks, and if you did that, it's a silly trade, I would say. You can get Cleary. Is that the only way you can get him? I understand. The majority of people are going to try and get Cleary this week, and if you're going to trade those types of players for him, be my guest. I'm personally holding those type of keepers. You've brought Pangai in to be a keeper, so just be aware of that. But if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. New Zealand Go-To, with 28 trades, should I hold or use just one and trade Walters, either Taff, Savage, or Martin, 100k in the bank? Personally, that one trade, I think that one trade's okay. If you got 28 left, go him to Taff, I'd say, would be simple. If you have less trades, I don't think it's that great of an idea. This one here from Skippy is a really good question. So he said, is 100k, 50k profit still the general rule for what you'd expect of a cash cow? To me, because I'm struggling to see anyone under 400k at the moment who will make that much. Even Taff, I think will struggle to make that. I completely agree. I've been talking about it all week that the cash cows, cashies, the cheap guys this week, I don't think any of them are good options. Taff maybe a little bit, but he probably only makes 100k max. I don't see him as someone who can get the 40, 50, 60 kind of scores. So he'll be a slower burn, 35 a week, make you 100k type of player. So yeah, good question, Skippy. I don't see any of those cheapies making big money at the moment. Daniel, I want to sell Teddy. That's my only option to have Nathan Cleary on my side. Do you think it's the right trade now or wait? I keep talking about holding Teddy, but if you want to go Teddy straight to Cleary, then that's okay. If you're trading two kind of guns, like a Teddy and a Burton to get Cleary, it's a little bit annoying just because you're going to want those guys in a few weeks anyway, especially Burton, considering he doesn't play Origin. So yeah, keep that in mind for that one. Sensei, Jamie Hughes and Josh King for Cleary and Brody or Taff. I still think Hughes is a hold. You're going to want him on over the Origin period as well, so you're going to trade him out and then potentially bring him back in. I don't know if that's a great idea, but up to you. Thoughts on Lukey? If he gets 80 minutes, look to be more consistent than Nanai and potential to get to that 40 average. Yep, I spoke about him in that video actually. So you have my thoughts on him. He could be great, but who knows if he's going to keep that role or not. Yeah, he's probably, you could probably wait one more week on him, because if he gets 80 minutes and he averages 40 odd, he's got a fair bit of cash to make. So we can wait on him, or you can pick him up this week if you like. Up to you. Just be aware that it might not be a perfect selection. Walters to Moali or hold. I'm about 15k short of Taff. Just hold, because Moali could be a red dot in your team. Yeah, you can lose a little bit of cash on Walters just to avoid that kind of thing. Making a comment on what I said, I should be dead by then. Yeah, 60 years. What am I? 27, 87. Yeah, if I've lived a good life by 80 odd, I'm happy. Walters to Taff, Crichton to Stags, or Nanai to Taff, Crichton to Papali'i. Probably the second one. Aubrey. Thank you, Luca, for saying that. Hunter trade, I think he's a hold. When is Sean Russell back? Weeks 8 to 10, so getting close. Got me interested in Josh Jackson. Yeah, it's potentially a good option. Could be a couple of weeks away, though. Hey, bro, my mid spots are pretty stacked with Murray, Haas, and IPAPs. Just wondering if I should consider using Murray to get Cleary. No. Yeah, what you said. It's stupid. Why is there no Corey Pakes and Angus Crichton? So I spoke about Crichton in the next video, but Corey... I spoke about Crichton, so you can look at that in that video, Docky. But Corey, I just don't think, his PPM's not great. There's every chance he loses his spot to a Walters. Once Turpin comes back, he'll lose his spot to him. How many minutes is he going to get? 50 minutes? Can he score over 30 in that time and make a lot of money? I don't think so. The Corey one's an interesting one. And then Crichton's, could definitely get back to his scores. So if you want to pop him in your team, I think you're not going to lose out on him, considering he's lost his money already. So it's either going to stay the same if he scores that mid-40s, or he's going to get back to his mid-50s, 60 and dominate for you. Is Arrow to Jackson too sideways? Yes. But Arrow's a long... You're talking about Origin. Origin's a long way away. So if Arrow to Jackson, they're both going to score similar, 45, 50. So don't worry about him. He's now still a keep, bro. You can hold him if you like. Watch the other vid. Yeah, just check videos, guys. I usually talk through all the players that you're asking me about. So if you can do that, that'd be great. So thanks, Darcy, for letting him know. Thoughts on Corey? Yeah, just spoke about him then. Awesome video. Thanks, Sam. Kritzart to Taff and Arrow to Talakai leaves me with 320 to get Cleary next week. I don't mind that, actually. But Arrow to... I suppose you get 70k. Helps. Critter to Taff and Arrow to Grant. Yeah, it depends what you want more. If you go into Grant, you probably won't be able to get Cleary next week. If you go the other one, then you can get Cleary next week. Whichever one makes more sense to you. Whichever one you want. Don't trade DCE. Sorry, Matish. Jamie, who's a good pickup? Papali'i or Grant? Both great, man. What Ethan said here. Great coverage for mid-edge, but also Origin period. Grant right now is probably the last round you get him before Origin. Definitely. Both players are good. Pick whichever one you think you need some more cover in. And if you have enough cover for Origin as well. Thanks, General Fantasy Lads. Would you do both for more for Talakai? I just feel like it's a bit sideways. Yes, Talakai's pumping at the moment, but he'll have a game or two where he doesn't go well either, just like what Bo's doing. So I think they're playing Cowboys, right? So he might score against, Nanai misses a lot of tackles, so Bowie could be in for a couple of tackle busts this week. Could I do a little segment on captain picks? Can do, but don't think we need to. Cleary, Haas, Harry Grant, Hines, DCE, Cook. Only options. Who would you play, Ilias or Taff? Oh, probably Taff, actually. His 9 guns a good amount of going for 17 by season's end. Yeah, 9's really good right now, Gaming Pandas. Love your work, legend. Thoughts on Leo and Kurt to Taff and Tamalolo? It's okay. I feel like you don't need to make those 2 trades, though. I feel like you can just hold on those 2. Leo's not an urgent trade. He's not going to lose your money. If he gets a 30 odd, he makes a little bit more. Kurt is a hold. If you want Tamalolo, you can, but do you have to? You could go Kurt straight to Tamalolo if you wanted that and just use 1 trade. Good on you, Shifty. surely could do better. Is 24 trades a good amount for now, or do I'll hold trades trying to get Walters out to TAF? I'd say you probably hold, but you could do the one trade if you wanted to. 24 trades is pretty low though. Who's the best player to buy under 433, ranked 92 at the moment? Nice work. Yeah, we should be getting advice from you. Under 433, there's not many, to be honest. Like Blake Taff, I'd say that's it. When I sent my team before some of these guys, it's not in the video. Hopefully it'll be in the next one. I hope so too, Rocco. Sorry if it hasn't. Just make sure I only pick the ones that have pretty much mainly only the big screenshot and then notes in there. So if you didn't have notes, then I'm sorry, it won't be in there. Only a traded Burton and an eye for Cleary and Taff. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Thanks for your input, bud. Always look forward to your vids. The 700k in the bank guy. That's you. Okay, fair enough. I'm glad you're going to use it, finally. Team to make a thing I sent too early as I sent on Monday. Ooh, potentially. Yeah, just try and send it after. Well, I look on the Monday ones. I'd just trying to put it after the lockout would be ideal. I think most people send it on Tuesday. So, yeah, the games won't even finish by Monday, unless you did it straight after. Selling Burton and Crichton this week. Who should I trade in? Ponga and Talakai, DC and Rushton Lee. Ugh, nah, just hold, man. I feel like, yeah, Burton could score the same as Ponga. Talakai could score the same as Crichton. Yes, there's probably marginal upgrades, but 2 trades for marginal upgrades I don't really like, so that's that. Angus Crichton or Josh Jackson. I'd probably go Crichton before Jackson, but just on potential. Jackson will play more time during the origin period. Up to you. All right, last 2 here on the YouTube. Jamie, who do you reckon is a better cop? Talakai Stags, same price, just don't know whether to risk it with Talakai, as he might leave the centres when Ikavalu comes back. Ikavalu, we'll go with Stags. Well, if you're scared of the Talakai one, just go with Stags. Simple. Teddy going to have a Ponga-like game this week. I hope so. I really hope so. Should I trade Crichton to Taff or save trades this week? 25. Hold it. If you're only just going to make the one, just hold it. All right, we'll move on. Questions. All right, we've got a little screen here, screenshot. Is IPAPs a must-have? Not a must-have. Walters a sell this week. Doesn't have to be, but can be if it helps you. Crits up plus man for IPAP and Cooler. No, don't get Cooler. Any trades out, tips that you would recommend? So the team here, Schneider, May, Tungo, Aitken, King. Put Haas back in. You could go like Nanai and King, but Clark you got there. I'd trade him out first, for example, over some of these other guys like King. But yeah, I suppose just building up some cash to get some some more guns in would be cool. To get IPAPs, for example, I personally wouldn't. Yeah, don't pull the trigger this week to get IPAPs if you're trading out Man and Critter, because you got guys like Aaron Clark that you could trade before Man for sure. All right, what option should I do? Nanai and Hunt to Cleary and a player of 305 and under. Nanai and Crichton to 2 cheapies to cash out. Grab Cleary next week. Hunt and Man to Cleary and Taff. Thanks. The Hunt one's an interesting one. I feel like he's a hold though. Don't really like the last option. It's just trading out 2 guns for 1 gun and a cheap. Seems a bit silly. Not really sure, man. It's yeah. I suppose it's up to you. If you don't think Hunt's going to continue to score well, like if you think he's just done forever and he's going to average 40, then trade him. If you think he's going to bounce back, then it's a silly trade, right? That's just my thoughts. Yeti. So I got a few here. 21,000 rank. Bought in Baker on the Teddy Burton trade. Okay, what do we got? Trade Teddy and Burton for Cleary today. Yeah, don't get Baker. It's too expensive, man. I'd go cheaper if you want. I'd go one of the real cheap guys because Baker's probably not going to play in that role forever. So I wouldn't do that personally. Just change him to one of the cheaper guys so you have a little bit more money in the bank. And because you got Cooler and Moale as well. That trade in will give you 3 really cheap guys, and you got Xavier Coates who isn't scoring very well either. So I just think it really leaves you vulnerable in that in the emergency section there, and you're not going to be making much money with those cheaper guys because Baker won't make much from here. Did get 33 in the weekend, but that's not going to be a standard practice. So just be aware of that when you're making those type of trades. Exactly right. Exactly what you said there. You feel stuck with Moale and Cooler, and you're going to do the same thing with Baker potentially. And you'll be like, oh, I brought him, and then he doesn't go too well. And then I'm like, oh, do I bring in Taff? And then you trade another cheap guy in, and it doesn't really work. Yeah, don't revert it and do the Hughes. And again, yeah, Nanai and Krita are peaked, for example, but just holding them and not doing silly trades to get these cheap guys in every week. Yes, you're upgrading. You've got Cleary, you've got Haas and lots of stuff, but if you aren't making money, you're gonna hurt yourself later in the year. So yes, points are great at this point. I appreciate that, but you need to make some cash to be able to improve your rank, improve your scores long term, for sure. That's what I'd be thinking of with this squad. For more, Man to Angus Crichton and Jackson. Hold both, man. Taft's a decent option. We spoke about him. Man to Cleary and Arrow to Moale. It's okay, but they're both guys that could probably average 50. So you're trading out 250 guys, unfortunately, for one gun and a guy that might not play too much. So just be aware of that if you're going to do it. Hope it's okay to post a team pick. That's okay. Traded Critter and Arrow for Cleary and Moale. Again, same sort of thing. In terms of doing better, yes, you're getting Cleary in, but what are you losing there? You've got Walters, who isn't going to do too well for you. You've got Coates, it's the same. You've got Davy Moale in there that aren't going to make you much money. So there's three guys where you could be having guys in there that are doing all right. And someone like Arrow is still doing solid. You don't have to make these trades this week, but I understand that you want Cleary as well. All right, Rocco. What's up, Jamie? Just having a difficult time choosing who to play. Me interchange 4 spot, Ilias or J King. I think King definitely for sure. Yeah, Stormer against Warriors, but that's his lowest score of the year, so he could get a 30 odd or 40. I think that'd be fine. Ilias versus the Tigers, yeah, but like Brown and Moses both got under 50, so Rabbitohs had the Bulldogs last week, and that didn't help him in his score, so don't worry about that. Bacon Lord, I'd rank 17,701, an overall score 4790. Is it even possible for me to make the top 500? Of course it is, mate. You just got to make some better decisions from now. As I spoke about that other team pick there, is just making sure that you've got some guys in your team that are making some cash, whether it's the Brodie Jones type of route, whether you've got Penasini in there, those types of players there that are making some cash. And then you're making sure that your trades are bringing in guys that are going to make more money. Well, more money would be ideal, but score more points than the guys that you're trading them out for. So don't trade 250 point guys for 160 point and 140 point. That's not really helping you out. For example, I understand, bringing in Cleary, for example, could get you an 80 and you're doubling that. So that's really good. But anyone else, if you're just doing marginal upgrades, Kurt Mann to Josh Jackson and stuff, you're wasting trades, for example, when you could save them and use them over the origin period. So if you really do that origin period really well, then you could dominate that section and bring your rank down into the couple of thousands and slowly build down to that top 500. So your goal at this point, Bacon Lord, should be trying crack into the 9,000 mark, and once you get to that, you can really start building from there. All right, Ning. Have enough money in the bank for a straight trade to Cleary. Struggling to pick between Arrow and Aiken. I personally go Arrow because the edge position isn't incredible at the moment, so I'd probably go Arrow for that one. And you got Aiken, who's a keeper in the centres, where Arrow's not a keeper in any of his positions. Best options trading for Walters. Think Edric Taff or potentially Tamari Martin. If you're going to trade Walters, then I'd go Taff, but you can also hold. Any suggestions for trades on who to play on the bench in emergency? So if in this one you've got Haas will come straight in. Crichton, I'd probably play Randall. If you're going to trade Arrow. Arrow's going to go to Cleary. Okay, take Ilias out, put Cleary in. And then I'd go Randall, Crichton, Jones, and Hetherington. That seems fair. Yeah, that'll be right. Next, cool. We've got a bunch more questions, not too many. What are your thoughts on this one? I know you reckon hold Burton, but I think you lose a lot more with Flano next to him. Completely fair. Up to you. If you want to trade him, that's fine. Talakai's DPP. I've gone Burton and Crichton to IPAP and Rushton. Have you got... Oh, you got trade Burton. Yeah, cool. Rushton's risk, no idea. Yeah, I suppose that's a lottery. If he goes well, sweet. If he goes horrible, use him to loop. Yeah, it's fair. It's the same as like Moale. He probably has a little bit more upside than him, for example. So if you want to do that, that's cool. Yeah, I suppose you got Talakai now, so you don't need a second gun in the centers with Burton. So that's that. Thanks, man, for the videos. Appreciate that. It's clearly a definite buy this week for me. I think a lot of people are just forcing him in. So if you're bringing him in, you got to captain him. Haas will be good too. Trades are Clune. Is that right? Clune and Hughes. I don't trade Hughes though. That's my only thing. I'd tell you not to do that. I understand that's probably the only way you can get to him, but yeah, it might just be you go for DCE or something like that rather than anyone else. Miguel, my plan is to hunt and man for Cleary and Taff Martin. Pakes or any suggestions? Yeah, Taff would be all right if you're going to do that. Walters to Taff or Crichton to Taff to bank some cash for a Cleary trade soon. Well, Walters to Taff isn't going to be a bank of cash, so Crichton to Taff would have to be that. Laros, is it too late to bring in Starling? I don't think it's too late, man. I feel like he's going to average 50, so he's got a little bit of money, to about 100k or so to make on that, and he could be potential second, a nice backup option in the hooking role for the rest of the year because he's got that team to himself. T-Raw, need help, lads. J King and Kobe to Lolo and TPJ, or slash TPJ, and Edric Lee. I just wouldn't bring in Edric Lee. King to Taff, bank a trade, hold my trades. Over Alea to Loot with Penasini, Critter. So wherever I trade, I don't need to play. Yeah, I think either 2 or 3 is fine. Don't do it. I don't like the cash outs either. Crichton down to Lee. Nope. Man to Cleary. Ooh, okay, you would have 27 trades left after that. That's pretty ideal, to be fair. If you're going to make that trade, just understand that Lee could make a tiny bit of cash. You could also make no cash. So you could be needing to trade him out, unfortunately, with that one a little bit later down the track. I know both Randall and Burton holds, but anyway, get Cleary's moved both on? No, I just say no. Well, don't get Cleary yet. Randall's making so much cash and doing well. All right, what do we got here? Crichton to Taff, Kurtman to Papali. It's okay. Papali is pretty cool. Lee helped how to get Cleary in and do what to do with Teddy and Burton. Anything else you'd have for me, much appreciated. Same team, right? Well, if you're making those trades, you're not going to get Cleary, are you? So I think you're going to bank some cash and get to Cleary rather than getting IPAPs. That's not going to help you, man. Hold Teddy and Burton, but I have had from the start, and they're really getting on my nerves. Yeah, up to you, man. I think they can be holds. I get why they're frustrating, but you're going to want to pick up Burton. You're going to want to pick up Teddy eventually. So up to you. Thank you for loving the videos. Appreciate it. All right, respect to Baxter. Thinking of holding steady, you have 26 trades. If you're thinking of holding steady, you probably should. Only thoughts maybe trading Coates for Taff. Yeah, sideways. Just hold trades. Actually, I want to talk about this here because I commentator Sam, one of the guys here in the Discord, just said Coates to Taff is not sideways because Coates is a sell. And I agree with that. You bank at like 25k or 20k from this trade, and Taff's going to make some money. So, which is what he said. That Taff will make money, but doesn't get involved enough. So, yeah, so he probably has 100k to make personally. But yeah, is Tedesco to Taff a good trade to free up cash for Cleary? I don't think so. I think, there's going to be suspensions. There's going to be things that happen. It hasn't been much this year at all. So it will happen at some point where like a Haas gets injured or Murray or these type of guys. And then you can straight swap them pretty much without like blowing up your team. You'll be like, oh, I wish I didn't do that. Because now I'm going to trade him for a gun anyway. So that's the thing there. All right, finish it off. Taylor. Last one here, and then we'll go into some of the team analysis as well. Used a lot of trades as team was very bad first few weeks. Yes, down to 22. Well, good work on improving your team. In terms of the bench, yeah, we got an S Luke. It's the first time I've seen that. So we've got plenty to work on our bench at the moment. So it makes sense why you said that team was pretty average to start. Need to get a gun mid-edge for King, Nanai, or Thompson. No, I personally wouldn't be looking to improve your mid and edge. I'd be looking to improve your bench. So using any cash that you get from a King or an Nanai to upgrade here. Okay, so I think that's the best thing for you to get some cash generation at the moment because there's not much on the bench here, especially in that bottom 4. No money's being made. So yeah, Taff's going to be a decent one. I think you should go for Crichton down to Taff and try and upgrade one of these other guys over the next few weeks. Whether it doesn't have to be this week, but freeing up a little bit of cash to upgrade one of a Wishart. Cooler could be in at some point. So a Luke, a Schiller, these types of guys that aren't going to play or don't have an opportunity or potential to play, I think you should try and upgrade them when good, decent cash cows come up, rather than trying to get to guns and using your money for that. You're just going to go through this cycle of having no money in the bank and no one doing well and making money to be able to get to guns. So that's the biggest priority, is making money at the moment for you in this side. All right, we'll get rid of that and into the teams. Okay. All right, I just wanted to do a few more in this video to help everyone out. So I want to get Cleary this week, like most people. Amanda Penasini leaves Randall to build more cash. That's okay, but Penasini's building cash too, so I don't think that's silly. I think that's silly, sorry. Don't do Randall. Perhaps straight to Cleary, only his one trading. Get to keep Penasini, Randall, and Man. Perhaps straight up. So what would you have to do? Then you'd have May. May? Yeah, May would play... Would that work? Yeah, then you have to bring Tungor down, Jones into thing. I suppose you could do it if you want. There's no other real way, is there? Kurtman, 312. You could downgrade someone else. Who would you downgrade, though? Could you get enough from Fafita? or Ilias downgrade. You can go to a 220 if you wanted to. Rather than trading out Pap, you could trade out Kurt Mann and Fafita or Ilias to a cheapie, and just take a punt on one of those guys. My only issue is you have Amale and Kula. Rather than trading Pap, you can go Kurt Mann. Up to you. Bring back Ivan. We spoke about bring back Ivan Cleary, didn't we? 2,000 ranks this week. Yeah, we spoke about him. All right, Gumby. My zero brain cell squad is doing quite okay, but dropped out of the top 400. Damn, tough. That's a big drop, actually. Poor bloke. No gun hookers at the moment, and I traded Teague, Wilton, and Burton for Wale and Cleary this week. Yeah, I just think they're both holds, man. So, up to you. Man or Burton, whichever one for you. Whatever works best. If you're going to do it, like if you're just going to jump in and do it. Don't have a gun hooker either. What should I do, as I didn't get on the Starling train on this account? Well, Randall's doing well, so you can just hold him until you need to do something about it. Up to you. I think that's best. You got Taumalolo, you got Papali'i, you're sweet in that front. You got guys making cash, so if an injury comes up, you can make a trade, but up to you if you want to just do that this week, or you can get a Starling now, or you can get to a Grant or a Cook. All right, beat sprinters. Trade out Josh King in the knife for Cleary and McInnes. Ooh, that is spicy. That is very spicy. I think McInnes probably a week early, but up to you. Holding Telly's killing me. How long before you can send him to the bin, or don't entirely, since Roosters play round 13? Yeah, but he won't play round 13. He plays Origin. So if that hurts you and you're like, oh shit, he's playing Origin, I don't want him, then get rid of him now. Otherwise, hold for majority of the year. Snowy at Walshies. Sure is. Man to Cleary. Straight swap would mean I have to play Leo where Man is. I don't like that, to be honest. Like playing Leo for 25 points, you're gaining, let's say, 30 or 40 from Cleary, but then you're going to lose, let's say, 25 from the other one. So you're gaining a little bit to, when you got DC and Munster, I probably would potentially leave the Cleary one at this point. You've got two guns there. You don't need another one. At this point, like a lot of teams that get the Cleary and like a Dylan Brown or Cleary and Moses, that kind of thing. I think that's the way to go. Personally, with this team, it's just to hold off on that. You're doing really well, ranked 140. Cleary would be nice, but you're probably banking and hoping that Cleary can get like a 65 average over the next few weeks, so it doesn't kill you. And DC and Munster can score about the same. That would be ideal because you got them two, Harry Grant. I think your team's fine. Pain in the behinds, love it. Holding Kurt Mann this round has his price maxed out potentially, but if he gets a 50 plus again, he'll be fine. He's priced in the early 40s, so Fafita keep all year, or do I sell him through Origin? Well, he's dominating at the moment, so thanks for just mentioning him. Trade in Stags with his 6 BE, is that worth it? Yeah, don't do it just for the BE, remember? He's already really expensive, so he might get to like a 600, 650, but no higher than that. Denty, here he is in the 81 rank. Heather, a hold or a sell. Cook is a legend, so good captain choice, that one. Heather's a hold. At least might be a hold, especially for Origin periods. Yeah, he's still working it out. He's still cheap. There's no one really you can trade him to, so no point in trading him out. Randall and denied a Cook because I wanted Cook long term. Is that last week? Early plus I already have Grant. Otherwise, it's weird to have Cook and Grant, but up to you. Captain Haas next week. Yeah, I would. Kurt Mann and Crittard. Oh, so that was last week's trade. Wow, you traded Randall. Interesting one. Yeah. Oh, well, it worked. You captained him. So, Kurt Mann and Crittard to Cleary. It's okay. Hold trades DC for Brown after Origin periods. To bring him in. Potentially. Yeah, I'd probably get Cleary first, but I think you got to sort out. You got Kula, you got Moale. I think just sorting out that first before anything would be ideal. What's the best course of action to get Cleary in? Everyone wants him. You want to know how many questions I've had about this all week? You probably, if you watch all my videos, you've heard me answer it about 1,000 times. Fun times. If my bench option trade had 2 big guys, Crichton and the knife for 2 cheapies, Taff and TMM if named, and then go to Cleary the following week. Just build up a little bit of cash. So just trade one of them out to Taff if you want. So build up about 200k in the bank, rather than trade both out, and then you can build up to Cleary potentially next week. You won't be able to get him now. You got DCE, you got Grant, you got Haas. You're going to be okay at the moment. That's what I do. Just build up a little bit. Lukey Adams, ranked 200 and 150k in the bank, 24 trades left. Play Schneider or Penasini or Jones for bench. Schneider's been great, hey. I'd go him, Jones, then Penasini. Man, Crichton, Tungo to Talakai Ponga. I'd potentially hold. If you wanted to really push and try and go up the ranks in these weeks, then fair enough. But you have 24 trades left. I'd probably personally hold. All right, Survive, Tuba, YouTube. 109,000 ranked. That's tough. And 26 trades in the bank. I'll show you his trades this week. Or bank and buy. Moses and buy. Fun times. Fiduci's trades, should I sell Crichton and May? No, hold both. Crichton and Tungo. I think hold both of them. You got Clifford, get rid of him. He's the one you got that needs to go. Starting side's fine. I don't really like Mbai playing, so I'd try and go Clifford to like Ponga and get rid of Mbai, like put him on the bench. You have a lot of guys here that aren't playing, unfortunately, so I'd go Clifford to Ponga and a Croker, a Sean Russell, or a Fafita, probably a Sean Russell or Croker, up to Blake Taff. Do that. Trades this week are Arrow and J King to Cleary and cash out to Mwale. Am I burning through trades too fast? Probably a little bit, man. Burton and Teddy still holds. I think they're both holds. You could do the top one if you like, if you really want Cleary, which looks like you already have. I see he's 2 this week. You're not burning too bad. So you were 26 before this week. That's okay. Again, just be aware that you've got Walters not making money. You've got Dabby Mwale. It's probably not going to make money. You've got Cooler, same thing. Hetherington's not making money. So just be aware of that on your bench. Davy's going to stop making money too. All right, let's get one more. I love Jason Saab, don't we all? Great man. Who is more urgent trade out of J King and Grita? None of them are urgent, to be honest. I think you're trading one of them to, but they're both about the same. Cheapy like Lee, Coolatas. Yeah, I don't really like any of them, as we know. Have you got any other suggestions? Under 330k? Yeah, none of them. I've spoken about in the video anyway. Thinking Cleary for Brown this week because I feel like Brown has peaked in price now and Cleary's a must-have. Okay, he's peaked in price, but he's 767k. That's just a gun. That's what guns do. They stay at the same price. You didn't bring him in a couple of weeks ago for him to make money. You brought him in to get good scores. And yeah, he's averaging 56.5. It's pretty good. The rest of the guys are fine. You got guys that are making money. You got guys that just, everyone's playing. Team's pretty good. I'd personally hold. But if you want to do the Cleary one, then that's fine. Cleary close to a must-have, but it's still not owned by a lot of people. So it's not a big issue. But that's it, guys. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are new, subscribe, like, all the fun stuff. And we'll catch you in the next video. I'm going to go through the trades. See you guys.